Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're looking at toxic relationships and how people have dealt with them. Now, before we get into it, I just want to remind you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Let's get into it now.
We're in a toxic relationship. Of course I'm gonna have your location, you're not gonna have mine.
We're in a toxic relationship. Of course I'm gonna block you instead of communicating my feelings.
We're in a toxic relationship. Of course I'm gonna like girls' Instagram pictures and gaslight you about it.
We're in a toxic relationship. Of course I'm gonna tell you my phone's gonna die when I'm out with the girls.
We're in a toxic relationship. Of course I'm gonna cheat on you and then blame it on my childhood trauma.
We're in a toxic relationship. Of course I already have my lineup ready.
We're in a toxic relationship. Obviously I think your best friend's hot.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Do you wanna
What the fuck? You think my best friend's hot?
You wanna talk all that shit, right?
No, because this is why we have all these problems. Like, what's wrong with you? You think my best friend's hot? Are you serious?
Emotional damage.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you leaving that toxic relationship is gonna be the best thing to ever happen to you. I don't care how much you love them. I don't care how much you want them. I don't care what memories you guys have together. I don't care if you guys have kids together. If it's not for you, it's never going to work. And the more you try to make it work with somebody who doesn't even value your worth, the more depressed you're gonna be in that relationship and with yourself. And then you wanna sit back and wonder, why do I hate myself? Why is my confidence so low? Because you are letting somebody stay in your life that doesn't even have the privilege or the right to even be in your life. The only way to get respect from other people is to start respecting yourself and start denying access. Oh, but I love him, I love her, it's hard. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Toughen up, put your batteries in, and know what you deserve. It is okay that you outgrew them. It is okay that your time has come to an end. It is okay that you're scared of the future, because the only way to live a good life is to get out of your comfort zone. So get out of it. Start taking back your access to everybody who has it that doesn't even deserve it. You are not accessible. Fucking with you is a privilege.
If you've ever been in a toxic relationship, I'm going to tell you a little story, and I'm going to try to fit it as quick as I can in this video. So there was this woman who was walking through the woods, and she saw a snake caught in a block of ice. So she pitied the snake. She felt bad for the snake. So she grabbed the snake and the block of ice. She took it home. She took it into her home and put it in front of the fire, and the ice melted away. The snake was cold, so she fed the snake. She nurtured the snake. She took care of the snake because she felt so bad for it. At night, as she was sleeping, the snake finally recharged, got its strength back, went into the room and bit her in the neck. And as she was dying, she said to the snake, "Why would you bite me? Why would you do this to me? I took you in, I took care of you, I pitied you." And the snake looked at her and said, "Lady, you knew I was a snake from the moment you saw me, and you still chose to bring me into your home."
It's an evil world we live in.
Ask and you shall receive. We're talking how I left my toxic relationship. This is probably one of the most common questions I get. And let it be known, leaving is a process. I knew in my head that I needed to leave a lot sooner than I could physically get myself to leave. I started saying to myself, I can't live the rest of my life like this. I knew that in my heart, but it was really just a matter of getting myself to move on and get out of the relationship. So obviously I've been doing story time about my relationship that I wrote a book about, and I could give you probably over 100 of those stories, which I will continue. But when it comes to leaving, you really have to mentally prepare yourself to leave. Each time he cut me down or left me to fend for myself or watched me as I cried in pain over something that had happened, I felt a little less for him. Just keep chipping away at me. I started realizing that I'd been attacked by his careless words and careless actions for far too long. I was numb.
Triangulation is my favorite and least favorite thing to talk about, so let's get to it. Triangulation is basically when your abuser creates their own desirability. They need to constantly feel like they are in high demand at all times. Unfortunately, when it comes to abusers, no matter how terribly they treat you, they're always going to have a group of loyal followers to validate every single thing that they do. And they do this on purpose. Anybody who doesn't follow along with their narrative, they will replace by somebody who will. Let me be clear. These are people living in the abuser's world, not yours. Do not sit here and try to convince them of who you are. It doesn't matter. Abusers will create concepts of or actual love triangles between you, them, and a third party. They need to feel like people in their lives are competing for their love and their attention. And whether they're using this third party to make you jealous or grooming them to be your replacement, it's just a game that they play. The goal is simply to raise their perceived value.
A common toxic relationship red flag every person looking for a healthy relationship should know. Doesn't matter your age, gender, status, sexual preference. Tell your mother, father, sister, brother. Because while it doesn't happen in every toxic relationship, it's one of the most common and usually happens in the first 6 to 9 months. And because you've never experienced this, you might not recognize it at first. The type of toxic partner to do this is insecure, jealous, and controlling. They fear your independence from them and want to break down your confidence because that's how small they feel inside. When you first meet them, they'll express admiration for you and you'll feel a deep, soulful connection. And then they'll rage over something really small. You'll be like, what? You almost can't believe it. Because of your connection, you'll try to talk it out. You want resolution and to get back to good ground. But they do not want to understand you, nor resolve things. They want to control you. If they're jealous, you will make small adjustments at first to make them more comfortable, but over time, you'll cut off important relationships, change the way you dress, and who you talk to, even business relationships. If your partner goes into a rage, you must understand the severity of this red flag. People who do this are adept at breaking you down, getting you to question yourself, and exerting control. At first, they'll return to the person you fell in love with, but in time, the rages will get more frequent, space between them smaller until that space disappears, and what you're left with is bad moods, tantrums, and insults. You'll never see the person you originally fell in love with again, unless they want something from you.
Have you ever been with someone who doesn't just drain you, it feels like they bring out the absolute worst in you? Yeah, and that's not what a relationship is about. That's like a slow fucking suicide. You start snapping over little things, walking on eggshells, second-guessing yourself. You look in the mirror and barely recognize who you become. They don't inspire you, they infect you. It's not love, man. It's toxic. And if you don't seal it off, it spreads until your joy is gone, your peace is gone, your damn identity is pretty much gone. I know a lot of people who lost themselves. And let me say this loud. If being with them brings out a version of you that you don't even like, cut it out. Just seriously cut it out, because that shit is like cancer. And you can't heal in the same environment that's been making you sick. Protect your peace, protect your spirit, protect your future, because I'm telling you this, staying with someone who brings out the worst in you, that's not loyalty. That's self-destruction.
Are you smiling at that girl in pink?
What? No?
The fact that you even know who I'm talking about shows that you were looking at her.
Babe, I'm smiling because I'm happy. What are you talking about?
You're acting really defensive, and why were you smiling exactly where she was? There's so many areas you could be looking at, and you were looking right at her. Do you know her?
Oh my God, here we go again. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know that girl, and
you know exactly
who
I'm talking about. You
literally
just pointed at her. You're making this weird. I went out of my way to plan this day for us. And just for you to disrespect me. Like, you know who I'm talking about now. Is she your ex?
Babe, there's literally thousands of people here. She just happened to be there, and I'm smiling because I'm happy. Why are you acting like this?
Because you're happy because you saw her, and you must know her. So who is she?
I don't know her. I don't know her.
Just tell me who she is.
She's nobody. Like, I'm here with you. I'm here to enjoy the theme park.
I just feel like I can't go anywhere with you because you do stuff like this, and then you act really suspicious, and all of a sudden you don't know her, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. Do you see? Like, I just feel like I can't go anywhere with you because you're always disrespecting me. Do you know how embarrassing that is? I can't go anywhere with you.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Okay, so I was in a toxic relationship and I knew it was toxic, but I didn't know it would turn like scary until this one night. Story time. So my boyfriend lived in the middle of nowhere, Canada, in a cabin in like the woods, which should have been my first red flag, but it wasn't. So I was staying with him in May, and one night he wanted to go to bed and I wanted to stay on the couch and watch TV. So he goes to his room, and then like 20 minutes later, I hear him yelling and throwing things around in his room. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? When I saw him, it was the weirdest look in his eyes. It was like my boyfriend was gone and he was possessed by this angry monster guy. He was like, why don't you want to come to bed with me? Why don't you care about me? You're so cold all the time. You don't even love me. And I was like, what? Like, I really had no idea what I had done that triggered this, because he did have anger issues and he would get mad at me a lot, but usually I could like figure out why he was mad. And this time I was shocked. So I was like, I don't know, what's wrong though? And he picks up my suitcase and he throws it across the room and he's like, it's just you're so cold, you're gonna move to LA and never talk to me again. So it was around 1 a.m. at this point, and he was picking up my suitcase and pushing it around the room and saying that he wanted to take me to the airport and drop me off there because I was gonna leave him anyway. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's totally fine. Please take me to the airport. And at that point, I knew being in like a public place was safer than being alone in this cabin with him. So I picked up whatever I saw, like that I could find of my clothes that he had thrown, put them in my suitcase, and then I let him put me in his car. And then he starts, oh my God, it was the middle of the night and he couldn't see anything on the road, and he was speeding and swerving around in the lanes and playing like the weirdest sad music and crying and yelling while he was driving. So at this point, I didn't know if I was gonna make it. Like, I didn't know what he wanted to do in the car, like, because he was acting so irrational. So I decided to text my roommate, and I told her his car info and like the license plate and where I was. And I grabbed the handle, and I was like, I guess I looked too scared, and he saw me texting my roommate, and he was like, oh my God, you're telling your friends that I'm abusive, aren't you? Like, you're gonna tell them I'm abusive. And I was like, no, I'm not, I promise, I won't tell anyone, I won't tell my family, I won't tell anyone. And then he does a huge U-turn. So he does a U-turn in the middle of the road, and he takes me back to his house, and he told me to get in his room and like stay in his bed. That way I couldn't tell my family that he left me at the airport or something. And that was the most terrifying night of my entire, I literally stared at the ceiling the entire time because I heard him pacing outside of his door, and I locked it, but I didn't know if he was gonna come in at any moment and what he was gonna do to me. This might be TMI, but I had to pee really bad, and I couldn't use the bathroom though because he was outside of his door and I was scared of him. So I held it all night long and I didn't sleep, and then in the morning I had a UTI, and he had to take me to the doctor, and he said he loved me enough to make sure that my health was okay, even though I was so cold to him. So yeah.
So, what's it like being married to a narcissist for 10 years? Let me just put it this way. I'm a 35-year-old white male living in America with 4 children. Every card in the deck stacked against me. I had a 6-figure income, good job, good reputation, and I gave all of that up. I risked all of that just to get away from her. I essentially lost 50% of my children's lives. I still have them 50% of the time, but she has them the other half. I lost a big chunk of my income. Heck, I ended up losing my career, losing my reputation due to what she did and how she dragged my name through the mud around town. All the lies she told, all the things. But not a day goes by that I regret my decision. I have never once regretted it. So, how is it to be married to a narcissist? It's worth giving up all of those things just to get away.
But this was from like my first relationship. So basically it was really toxic. Very much like toxic, controlling, like you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't wear this, you can't wear that. And okay, so back in high school, I was in cross country, and of course during cross country practice, I'm wearing like running shorts, you know, like just regular running shorts. And so I'm in like the training room, and my boyfriend at the time was in the training room as well. And I'm sitting down, and I have shorts on, obviously, because I was in practice. And he sends me a snap, and he's like, do not get up. I'm like, and he's like, do not get up. If you stand up, then do not text me for the rest of the day. And I'm like, I'm sitting there on my phone like, okay, I guess. All scared. And what's crazy is that he ended up cheating on me. So anyways, off topic. But yeah, I used to have the screenshot of this, but he snapped me, he was like, do not get up. If you get up, do not text me for the rest of the day, this and that. And I was just like, okay. And so then at the time, you know, I was freaking like sophomore and junior in high school. So my dad's picking me up from practice. So of course I have to get up to leave the building. I stand up to leave and I go home and I get a snap immediately. It's from him. And he says, do not talk to me. I'll text you when I'm ready. Because I stood up to leave. And then I was like, wait, like, what do you mean? Like, I had to leave. And then he went off and told me all this stuff about, like, do you really think guys are going to look at your face? Like, no, they're going to look at your butt. Like, what? And baby, at the time, I was, like, a junior, and, like, I had no booty. Like, what? But that did change my perspective on the way he thought of, like, me and of girls around me.
I didn't get off till 5 o'clock. Oh, I'm sorry, you get off at 4 to 4:30 every day because I work at Paper Products making literally 1-inch little pieces of paper for fucking napkins. I do concrete. You can't even do the shit I do. And then you give me shit about it because I didn't want to go to Walmart tonight because I worked over. Oh, I'm sorry. It's literally the most annoying thing. It is. Act like I'm the insane one, dude. I will I'm gonna work laps around you. You're gonna be a broke bitch, and you can literally even siphon all the money you want off of me from child support. You will be a broke bitch, and I'm gonna literally shove money in your face. That's how it's gonna be. Because you're dumb. You are. You're literally dumb. You don't want to educate yourself on nothing. That's why you're okay making $15 an hour. You've not gotten any licensing, let alone any fucking education. Nothing. But just record it so you can show your friends and act like I'm a dumb piece of shit. Even though I picked up the most slack with Hudson. Yeah, I'll say it.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.